Hi, my name is Markus, founder of Magma Software Solutions and the developer behind Burning Grid. I'm a trader and a developer, and everything you will see in this series comes from real experience, not theory. In this episode, we look at one of the most underestimated settings in Burning Grid, the spread filter. Get it wrong and your backtest results are meaningless. Get it right and you have a configuration that actually survives live trading. Every time Burning Grid opens a position, including every rebuy within a running grid, it immediately starts slightly in loss because of the spread. That is the difference between the bid and ask price, and it is the transaction cost you pay at the moment of each entry. This is what makes spread so critical for a grid EA specifically. Burning Grid can open multiple positions per symbol in quick succession, and each grid can trigger several rebuys as price moves through the levels. If the spread is wide at any of those moments, every entry starts deeper in the red. The grid needs more price movement to recover, drawdown builds faster, and the equity curve deteriorates. Not because the strategy is wrong, but because the entry conditions were expensive. And in your backtest, an unrealistically tight spread makes all of this invisible. Your results look better than they ever will in live trading. The first step is simple. Open your market watch in MetaTrader, right-click, go to Columns, and enable Spread. Now you can see the live spread for every symbol your broker offers. This gives you a ballpark, a starting range to work with. For example, if Euro-Dollar shows 3 points on IC Trading and 17 points on RoboForex ProCent, those are your reference values. But, and this is important, the market watch spread is just your starting point. It tells you the current spread at that moment. It does not tell you what the optimal max spread setting is for your specific risk appetite. For that, you need the backtest. Before you can optimize your spread, you need to set up the strategy tester correctly for Burning Grid. Modeling, 1 minute OHLC, the recommended setting for Burning Grid. Deposit, match your planned real account balance exactly. Leverage, match your broker. Enable the slippage simulation option for more realistic execution. Now, the most critical point, data quality. For spread optimization, you need 100% history quality. Here's the problem. Most brokers only deliver real tick data for the last 6 to 15 months. Everything before that is interpolated by the MT5 Strategy Tester. And interpolated data produces unrealistically smooth, often overly positive results that you will never see in live trading. So for your spread optimization backtest, only use the date range for which your broker delivers 100% quality. Check the history quality indicator in the strategy tester before you trust any results. A short but clean test is always better than a long test built on interpolated data. Now here is where the real work happens. Burning Grid ships with a default max spread of 10 points, and for raw spread accounts like IC Trading, that is often already a solid starting value. But for other brokers with naturally wider spreads, 10 points will block most trades and give you misleading results. Before you start the optimizer, make sure you have selected the right trade mode for your use case. If you are testing for a prop firm challenge, set prop firm mode with the corresponding balance and limit values. If you are testing for a private account, use regular mode or auto mode. The trade mode must match your real intended setup, otherwise the results are not comparable to your live trading. Now set up the optimizer with 2 variables. First, max spread. Start at 10, stop at 50, step 5. Second, risk level, low, medium, and high. This gives you a complete matrix. Every spread value tested across all 3 risk levels simultaneously. You will immediately see which combination delivers the profit, drawdown, and trade activity that appeals to you personally. That combination, your trade mode, your risk level, your max spread, is your validated starting configuration. One last thing before you hit start. Be prepared to wait. Running this optimization is not a quick calculation. Burning Grid trades up to 35 symbols simultaneously. You are essentially backtesting 35 EAs in parallel as a complete portfolio. Depending on your hardware and the date range you selected, this optimization can take several hours, sometimes even multiple days. Start it, let it run, and do not interrupt it. The results are worth the wait. After the optimizer finishes, and remember this can take a full day or longer because you are backtesting up to 34 symbols simultaneously as a complete portfolio, you will see a results table exactly like this one. 27 passes, 3 risk levels, 9 spread values each. Let me show you what the data tells us. Lowest risk with max spread, 10. Drawdown 8.8%. Profit 4,700 trades. Clean and conservative. Medium risk with max spread 50. Drawdown 23%. Profit 8,600 over 10,000 trades. More aggressive. High risk with max spread 50. Drawdown 31%. Profit 12,400. 14,000 trades. Maximum activity, but also maximum drawdown. The difference across these combinations is not marginal. Profit, trade count, and drawdown all shift substantially. Now, how do you choose? Look for the combination that gives you a good balance between profit factor, drawdown, and trade activity. For example, medium risk with max spread 25 is a strong choice for many traders. Profit factor 2.09, drawdown 21% over 10,000 trades. Solid performance without pushing risk to the limit. Your personal sweet spot depends on your risk appetite. The optimizer gives you all the data. You make the decision. Once you have found your optimal value through the optimizer, setting it in Burning Grid is straightforward. Open the EA inputs in MetaTrader. Under Basic Setup, you will find the maximum allowed spread in points. This is your global default that applies to all symbols simultaneously. This is important to understand. The value you set here is a mixed spread, a single number that has to work as a compromise across your entire symbol portfolio at the same time. Some pairs are naturally tighter, some are naturally wider. When you run the optimizer from 10 to 50 in steps of 5 across all symbols together, you're finding the value that delivers the best overall result for your specific portfolio and broker combination. That is your personal optimal mixed spread. Set it, save it in your set file, and you have a configuration that is grounded in real data, not guesswork. Before we close, 3 mistakes that come up again and again. Mistake 1. Using the same max spread value across different brokers. IC Trading and RoboForex ProCent have completely different spread environments. A value that works perfectly on IC Trading will block almost every trade on RoboForex. And a value calibrated for RoboForex will let through too many bad entries on IC Trading. Always backtest per broker and save separate set files. Mistake 2. Testing with an unrealistically tight spread. If your broker normally shows 20 points on a pair and you test at 2 points, your backtest looks beautiful, but it has nothing to do with reality. Your live results will be significantly worse. Always use values from your real market watch data as your starting range. Mistake 3. Not testing the full symbol portfolio together. Running single symbol backtests to find your spread setting gives you a distorted picture. The global max spread affects all pairs simultaneously, so you need to test it that way. And that's it for today. All 3 live signals on MyFX book and MQL5 and the full manual are in the description below. If this video helped you build a more solid Burning Grid configuration, hit like and subscribe. Let's burn together.